Okay.
Good evening, Mr. Belfrage. It's wonderful to see you here on Zoom, and thank you for joining me this evening.
Good
Um,
evening, Dr. Swan. Yes, it's nice to see you.
so we're just going to share some experiences that we've had over the last few months. And let's get right into it. So, Mr. Belfrage, how did you first hear about my services as a naturopath?
I found out. I attended one of your many art classes where certain students were messing about a bit, and I think we both emerged from that class feeling rather tired. And you said you were going to rub cayenne pepper on yourself. And I said, well, I think that's rather a strange thing to do. Why would you want to do that? And you said you're a naturopath. And then I told you that I had a nasty thing in my arm that sort of attacked me with a sharp pain sometimes. And you told me you had called it 3/4 of an hour sessions, I think you said, to discuss changes in diets. So it was you that introduced me.
Right, great. Thank you. Through the classroom setting, we met.
Yes.
Okay, so my next question. What hesitations did you have about working with me at first? And how did you overcome them?
Yeah, I always have hesitations with new people. I'm just one of these methodical people that um, goes through all the motions first. And I was snooping around actually. I went on the Google and LinkedIn and all these types of things. And then I thought it was a very good value for money to spend 3/4 of an hour with me talking about diet. So I took you up on it.
Okay, great. So you worked through that initial hesitation by looking me up on Google.
Yes.
And that's actually quite common. So what was it that sold you on like that on joining the program?
I've just heard so many times from so many different people how skeptical they are of doctors. And I think it was Ocean Rock Wellness seemed to drill it home more than anybody else, but I'm not a client of them. But just thinking, well, why can't we eat loads of spinach and kale and um, collard greens instead of having nasty steroid injections?
Okay,
So I
so
mean, the,
you
the pain in my arm is down by about 75 or 80%.
hallelujah.
Yeah. So I'm a fan of yours.
That's great news. Okay, so how was your situation before working with me, and how did that make you feel?
How was the situation? I think the reservations I had was my inability to chop salad, um, and my ability to make nasty smoothies, and just my culinary ability in the kitchen. The lack of it seems to separate me from just about everybody else that I've ever met.
And what was your main ailment at that time? Was it just the shoulders?
Oh, the ailment. No, I actually have, according to a physiotherapist in 1989, I lost 75, no, I lost 25% of my muscle in my left knee because I walked 30 miles in the Grand Canyon and I was limping for the rest of the holiday.
Wow.
And then the right knee started to echo the sentiments of the left knee about 10 years later before the arm started acting up.
So it
So
was so it wasn't just the shoulders, it was shoulders and the knees.
the shoulders and the arm were the third things to act up.
And it was arthritis, right?
Yeah, and the arthritis would go up and down the ankle, between the ankle and the knee, and it would decide which day it was going to do what. Um, but I think your treatment and to be honest, these hard insoles have made things a lot better.
Wow, that's great news. So, what specifically has been your favorite part of the services that I've offered, and why?
Uh, why I enjoy the taste of good food. I don't just eat anything. And even this morning, I opened the spinach box and shoved in a bit of fruit, and that smoothie today was good.
Oh, wow, you're
And it's
getting
nice to be
better.
able to do that. Yeah, so that's satisfying. If you told me that I had to eat horrible medicine for the next 20 years of my life, it would be a lot more horrible than producing something that's halfway decent.
Wow, I'm
Yeah.
so glad to hear that. That means you're really getting it down.
Yeah, with the help of lemon juice as well.
Yeah.
Very strange one came out last week and the lemon juice helped.
Okay. My next question is, what is one thing that you have applied from working with me that as a result, you'll never be the same again?
Oh, that's an intellectual question. Um, I mean, maybe the arm will never be the same again because I used to it used to hurt. It used to wake me up when I turned over in bed because I'm pushing my body up with my arm to turn over, and it's not doing that anymore. So that's a change for the better.
So has the pain left?
Not completely, but it's virtually gone.
Wow.
And
So on a percentage, how like give a percent of the improvement of your arm. What would you say the improvement is in percentages?
well, it's 80% off. So put another way, it's probably 20% of what it was before in terms of feeling it.
So you've had an 80% improvement, you would say?
Yeah, and it seems to be effective immediately too when I put something on it.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's good. So I'm very glad that the diet that you are adapting is really helping with that pain issue.
Yes, it really is.
Okay, so my next question is, what has been one of the most rewarding experiences you have had while going through this disease mastery program that I've introduced you to?
Well, I'm commending you on going along with my thorough personality. I don't know how many people you're going to have who present you with an Excel spreadsheet asking you to rate certain foods that I like to eat. But it was inspired one day by me having brunch with my wife in a restaurant. And oh, Mrs. Swan hasn't got me eating any of these. So I made a list and I was able to learn from it. And I maybe other people should do the same thing as well.
Did you enjoy the learning experience?
Yes.
Okay, so my next question is, um, what are you able to do now that you just couldn't do before? And how has that impacted others around you?
I've got a stubborn family. So impacting people around me, that's a matter of a much longer period of time, I think. My wife's addicted to green powder that she calls Greens, and I'll go along with it and drink it when she gives it to me, but it's not the same thing.
Right.
And my daughter's a late developed teenager who's now 20, and she's quite, I don't know, some of the things she eats.
But
Matter of time.
sometimes it takes time for the family to get on board, and it can be tough sometimes to convince them to come on board with you to
Yeah,
change.
she's making steps because I did go. Oh, I hope you're not going to condemn these choices, but I went into the supermarket and I found some organic flaxseed cereal. So I bought that home, and I found some organic oatmeal. So I bought that home, and my daughter's been picking at both of them, I noticed.
You're giving them little by little baby steps.
Yeah, surely if it's organic, it's not processed, so it's got to be a step in the right direction. And it
Well,
doesn't have any added sugar, so that's hopefully a step in the right direction.
well, The process, it's still processed, but I guess it's a step for them if they've been eating worse.
Well, they need to stop processing it altogether and just give us something that's completely natural. Why do they have to do this? Same reason why Coca-Cola won't publish what's in it.
Well,
But we're getting off the point, perhaps.
okay, so now I'm going to ask you a question. How would you rate your experience with working with me on a scale from 1 to 10? How would you rate
9.999999999.
9.9 infinitely?
Yeah.
Thank, thank you so much. And what would you say to someone who might be on the fence about working with me? What would you say to them as a piece of advice or going forward?
That's a bit harder because I have the same problem in my accounting business. People sit on the fence all the time, and what works for one person may not work for another. So
But
I
would
think
you
we have to find out their pain points and address them.
would you encourage them to try natural or would
Yeah,
you okay.
I definitely would because there's not much to lose. I mean, maybe $75 and three-quarters of an hour of your time. And I don't know if you tell them they have to eat smoked salmon for the rest of their life and they can't stand smoked salmon, I mean they can always speak up and say, well, what else would you recommend?
Okay, well, thank you so much for sharing with me tonight, Mr. Belfrage, and I'm so glad you had a positive experience with working me as a naturopath. And thank you everyone for listening to us. And if you have questions, comments, feel free to reach out to me. Thanks again, and have a wonderful night. See you
Yeah,
later.
I'm trying to warm up now. It's freezing.
Okay, bye.
Okay, thank you.